What's up, everybody? Unrested back again, and today I got an email asking me why do I stay in Japan, which it wasn't, any kind of, it was asked in a very nice way, like that they had visited multiple countries, they are in Japan now, but they weren't sure why I myself enjoyed staying in Japan. Not going to say the user's name because I really don't know if they want me to or not, so I always kind of use the discrepancy of not putting names out there because you never know how much people want revealed. That being said, why do I stay in Japan? Well, it's kind of a question I've answered. I won't say I've actually made a JFAQ answering that, but I've kind of actually gone over reasons that I enjoy Japan, which I suppose could also be said as my reasons for staying in Japan for so long now, and for never really having any plans of leaving Japan. I guess, let's see, the first one that I've said before, that I feel really kind of landmarks or is the cornerstone of my whole reason for staying is the one thing that I really enjoy the most about Japan. And this is obviously not taking into account, of course, that my family's here. That's kind of a given. You're not going to say, well, my family's here. They're like, well, of course your family's there. You could pick up and move with your family, couldn't you? Yes, you could. So that's kind of, I always feel like that's kind of a stupid reason. My main reason is the fact that I enjoy the atmosphere of the way people treat who you are, what you are, and what you like in Japan. And that's something I need to explain, and I'll do that right now while I'm walking and about to try and find a park to sit down in here. What I mean by that is whatever interests you have in Japan, whether those be, gaijin type things that you're into, things natural to Japan or indigenous to Japan. It can be anything from anime to action figures, game cards, video games, some super subset genre of any and everything that people can be otaku about. No matter what it is, the only people that will come up and talk to you about it are the same people who are interested in it. People who are not interested in it or don't care about it won't come up and be negative or shout insults or get in your face about it. So, for example, if you have a certain way to dress or a certain style, or you have a certain look to you, or you're wearing a t-shirt that kind of says the kind of stuff that you're into. For example, if I were to walk around America wearing a Dungeons and Dragons shirt, I'm sure I might get a shout, nerd, or something like that. Just because, of course, that's not a vicious insult that's going to crush me through the day and, have me moping around. But it's a negative aspect of America, that people can't just enjoy something they like and be proud of that and enjoy that aspect without some sort of negative input by people who don't enjoy it. And it's not even something that affects them in any way at all. No one, holds a gun to your head and makes you roll dice. At least not in America. So that's one thing I really enjoy about Japan. I can be exactly who I am, and take no negative implications to that. If I tell people anything that I'm into, making videos, researching creepy stuff, getting into role-playing games, drawing for a role-playing company, stuff like that. This old guy man back here, hold on. I gotta videotape this while Can we get that guy? Yeah, okay, so while I'm listening, just go ahead and watch this old guy in the background. He's going at it. He's doing some oyaji sizes, as I call it. Look at that guy go, man! Look at that old man! He's gonna swing around. I hope he's okay. Be careful, old man. That's like not really something I see a lot of old men doing. He's got it. 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 He did it. Oh no, he's going back around. Okay, sorry. So yeah, oh man, come on, don't give up now. All right, bye-bye. That was a nice little. That was cool for the background. Anyway. So, I mean, that's kind of, I like wacky stuff about Japan too. Like, there's just a lot of wacky stuff that goes on that people kind of just doesn't faze them at all. Like, you see somebody dressed up in cosplay on the street and No one's gonna be like, kimochi warui, or like shout anything at them or tell them they're a dork or a nerd. They have their own conventions. For example, just I think it's maybe this week. Is it this week? Maybe. I know at some point here in this month, at least, that there is a hangout in Denden Town or Nipponbashi, which is just a gathering of everybody who is going to do cosplay. There's no actual convention. It's literally just people gathering in the street. And the only people there are people who are, number one, dressed up and enjoying the hell out of themselves, and they have damn good costumes that they put a hell of a lot of work into. And they get kind of props for that and everything. No one calls them a nerd or says anything like that. People come up and are like, I want my picture taken with you because you've got the best Kakashi sensei. You've got the best, Tomodachi from 21st Century Digital Boy costume. Things like that. It's cool. I really enjoy that aspect of Japan. If I tell somebody something I'm into that they don't know anything about, either one, they actually try to ask and learn about it, or they're interested about it because maybe number one, it's related to my country, or number two, if they know absolutely nothing about it, or even if they've only heard negative things about it, they still want to hear your view on it first before they make a judgment call. So for example, some people are like, oh, you have tattoos? Well, why do you have them? Because in Japan, almost always it's connected to gangster activity and stuff like that. And they know that, but they don't assume that right away. Most times they won't be like, oh, so you are a gangsta? Like, no one says that in Japan. They'll be like, well, what do your tattoos mean? Because I know Americans have different meanings for their tattoos. And so when they find out, and they find out most of my stuff has to do with horror movies or comic books I was into or RPGs and stuff like that, they're like, oh, that's really interesting. And they want to know more about that. No one's there to, they could totally just be patronizing me for all it's worth. That's fine. And you know what? I'd rather be patronized than insulted, right? Rather than be like, what? That's lame. I can't believe you would dirty your body. Like, one time I had a Christian in America. I'm not judging all Christians by this guy, but he was obviously some hardliner extremist Christian who's like, why do you have tattoos? Why did you ruin the body God gave you? Like, and these are the people who are supposed to be like the nicest people in America, right? Like the hardcore Christians and stuff like that. And you don't ever no Buddhist would ever come up to me and be like, oh, you have ruined Buddha's creation or something. No one would say anything like that in Japan. They wouldn't be like, that would actually look bad for the Buddhists to make a judgment on you. They'd be like, why are you judging other people? Like, you're the worst Buddhist ever. So this is like one of the main aspects that really keeps me loving Japan. I guess other small aspects, gosh, what else could there be? So much, I guess, right away, I mean, the access I have to, of course, video games, anime, manga, all the geek culture that I'm into. I've got firsthand access to all of it. Whether I can read it or not, or understand it or not, because sometimes, like, for example, when Yakuza or Ryoga Otoku gets released out here, it's first released in Japanese, and I can't play that game in Japanese. The kanji is just way too hard. Or a game like, even like Metal Gear, I could get Metal Gear here way faster than everybody else when it comes out, but the Japanese, the kanji, or they actually speak Japanese all the way through the game. It's just two military-based words that I just don't know what the hell they're talking about. Anyway, but that being said, I guess there's just so much more. I guess I enjoy the Genki upbeat personality, although I know oftentimes that is usually just like a shell people are putting on to work at stores. The amount of Genkiness and customer service and upbeat help that you get at stores that you walk into, it's just so refreshing. I constantly have to pat Japan on the back and tell them amazing fucking job with your customer service. I mean, every goddamn store that you walk into, the people are smiling, ready to greet you. They don't bother you until you ask them to help you, and then when you ask them to help you, they fucking hustle, man. Like, you're like, oh, this size doesn't fit me, and they're like, hold on right there, I will go get size that fits you, I'll go. And they don't like be like, I don't know, where's that size at? They fucking hustle. Like, they jog to the warehouse and like search everything. And they will look everywhere. They'll take stuff off of mannequins. They'll like rip displays down. They'll be like, we've got to be able to find your size. We've got to do it. I had one time where I went to a store to purchase Skyrim in English as an import. And every single copy was sold out, and I was just like, oh man, dang it, I got here too late. And they're like, no, 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 we've got to be able to find a copy somewhere. And the one girl who was the manager there was like, I've got an idea. And she went over to this display, and it was an import store, and in the middle of the display there was a box for the game, and she ripped the display down, ripped it apart, pulled the game out of it, and was like, look, this actually has a normal game inside. I'll just take the display copy off of it, the sticker, and put a price on it. Is that okay, even though it's been our display? I was like, yeah, that's awesome that you would go out of your way to do that just so I could have the game. And she's like, well, you know, you came all the way here to get the game, and we didn't have it in English, and we know you know, like, you'd probably be pretty desperate to find it in English. Trying to play Skyrim in Japanese would be fucking impossible. I can't imagine. Because what they'll do when they have, like, old school RPG type game, well, not old school, I mean, like, old Europe-based settings? How do you want to say it? Like, I mean, old Viking type settings. So the language sometimes in the game, in the English language, is like olden English, right? They'll do the same thing in Japanese. So it'll be like this old, how do I explain? I want to like compare it to Shakespearean English, but Shakespearean Japanese. So they'll use words that are like they won't even use like watashi wa, like they'll have like washi wa, like they'll use like these older versions of the same words and stuff like that. And just like items that you would have, like, you know, like, how often do I talk about equestrian equipment, or how often do I talk about forging stuff in a blacksmith in Japanese, right? So that's really hard for me to understand that. She understood that aspect of it, the translation aspect of it, and went out of her way to make sure that I could get a copy in English. I mean, that's the kind of customer service you go through in Japan. They just, I mean, they literally bend over backwards going out of their way, and they overly make sure that you are taken care of. Like, one time I bought a Nintendo DS, and it was super crazy cheap. I think it was like 1,200 yen. It was $12. And the reason it was is because it didn't come with a charger. And I bought it, and they're like, look, I'm really sorry. I know you want to purchase this one, but you need to know it doesn't come with a charger. You won't be able to charge it. Like, if you turn it on and play it, it'll go dead eventually, and then you can't recharge it. I'm like, yeah, yeah, I understand that. Like, I just want a second one because I want to be able to trade my Pokemon over. And they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense, but just so you know, we don't want you to have to purchase it. You open up the box and you don't find the charger in there. We don't want you to be upset. I'm like, no, man, it's cool. It's okay. Like, and I have another friend on the Unrested team, Kyle, who told me one time about how he bought one from a store in Japan to have shipped over, and that he had to go through like multiple email clearances to tell them it was okay, it didn't come with a charger. That they were like, are you totally okay with this, because this one doesn't have a charger, that's why the price is cheap and stuff. And he was like, it's okay, they've stated it on the advertisement on the site and everything, let you know the full information. Like, if not, there's like sometimes even pictures that like have like an X over the charger or the dinky outlet and stuff like that. It's amazing, it's refreshing, and it really gives you just a really good vibe when you go into a store, and you know that while you're there you get the customer service that you feel you deserve because you're a patron to that store, and you enjoy having return experiences. No one in a store ever judges me for being gaijin at all. No one ever judges me for having tattoos or anything in a store. They know I am a source of money. They know I am a paying customer. They treat me like a paying customer, and that's exactly what I want when I walk into a store. I don't want any kind of like, oh my gosh, will this guy understand this? Now, there has been times where I have had to have things translated for me where I'm just like, okay, this says this on the tag, and I don't understand this Japanese word. And they'll be like, okay, hold on just a second. And they'll go out of their way to like find the best English-speaking person in the store at the time, and that person will like be like, okay, I've got this like dinky dictionary here, this electric dictionary here, I'm gonna try and find that word. Okay, it means this. And you're like, oh, okay, I finally kind of understand what you're talking about. Sometimes the translations are pretty funny, but it's the fact that they'll go through the effort to try and do that. That's not on their job description. It's not like if some idiotic gaijin walks into the store and doesn't know how to speak the native language, go rushing around until you find him a translation. And of course, I'm not even coming in there asking them to do that. If they would have just said, sorry, I really don't know that in English, I'd have been like, yeah, of course, it's all right. Like, if you came shopping in America and I was working at a store and you were Japanese and were like, hey, how do I say this English word in Japanese? And I had never been to Japan, you expecting me to be able to say that in Japanese would be insane, right? That'd be like ridiculous. So, put yourself in their shoes and you realize how good that customer service is. There's just so many things like this, and so many different times where you walk in. I guess the other great thing I enjoy, some people see this as a negative sometimes, but in general, when you work a job, everybody tries to stay pretty upbeat and ganky. Spreading a lot of rumors, trash talk, and stuff like that at the job place is looked down upon. It can make you the pariah of the place. I have seen people leave places because they stir up too much controversy. I kind of enjoy that aspect because for me, the way work is I come into work, I want to get my damn job done, and then I go home and work leaves me. I don't try to bring any of that crap home. I don't try to worry about anybody at work. I mean, if someone's in trouble and needs some help, like, like they need help moving or something on their off time, I understand that. I'll try to, lend a helping hand, or if they're in a tight point with cash or something, ask them if they need some money or something like that. But I'm just saying, like, if someone wants to get there and start drama and stuff like that, I don't want to be involved in any of that. As a grown-ass man with kids and a wife and a house and everything to pay for, I don't have time for that shit. And that's one thing I really like about Japan is they don't really cater to that. They don't really cater to a lot of, like, back talk, rumor mill, talking shit about your boss, trash talking people you don't like, forming cliques and stuff within there. You pretty much, you have this, what's called the wa of the workplace, the harmony in the workplace, and everyone gets along pretty well. Even if you've kind of had a fight in the past, or you've had a disagreement in the past, they realize, well, what's more important than our fight is that work gets done here, so fuck that. We need to get past that and move on. And that's one really cool thing I like about Japan, that even if someone's like, or if I've had to, like, discipline people in the past, when I'm their boss and stuff like that, like, now I have a pretty high-level managerial position where oftentimes I have to discipline people or hire people or interview people. They get past the constructive criticism of when they first start. Japanese people are great about that. Like, when they come in there, they have this whole kohai senpai situation, which, if you don't know what those words mean, they pretty much mean, like, master and the apprentice. Not saying I'm any kind of master at anything, just saying that it doesn't come out of meritocracy. It comes out of veteran status. If you've been there longer, you know how the place works better usually. And you're teaching that knowledge down to the person who started. For them to come out and be like, no, look, I've got a much better way to do this. It's like this. Or someone backtalk be like, why you got to tell me in that way? Or like, isn't my way okay? Or something like that. You would never get that from a Japanese person. Like, they would just be like, okay, I understand. This is the way you do it here at this place, and I will follow that way. And if you correct them, you're like, oh, no, not like that, like this, and when I do correct people, I try to be as nice about it as possible. They're never taking it, like, as criticism, as, like, you attacking them. Some people are really sensitive sometimes. When I worked in America, I had this where I'd have sensitive employees be like, and then he told me I was doing it wrong. In Japan, they'll just be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Let me go ahead and correct that, and now I can work even better. I love that about Japanese people and living in Japan. That makes work so much more efficient and so much easier. It's refreshing. Anyway, I could go on and on. I could probably go on lists and lists of different stuff. I guess also one kind of really nice thing about living here is I just get left alone. Like, nobody gets up in my business about stuff. I think maybe sometimes I'm a little bit scary when I walk around. When I have my tattoos out and it's summertime, I'm wearing, sleeveless shirts, I look a bit scary, I'm going to be honest. And rightfully so, this place does see tattoos as a taboo. And whatever, I chose to have the tattoos. I'm not blaming Japan for my choice. But I honestly enjoy the fact that most people just leave me alone because of that. If I sit down on the train and nobody wants to sit next to me just because I have tattoos, so be it. That's awesome. I can spread out and, like, play my Nintendo DS without people trying to look over my shoulder and see what I'm doing, or type on my cell phone without people checking my messages. And it's kind of nice, man. I enjoy that. I like my space, man. I was raised as an only child. I don't mind being alone. I don't need company constantly all the time. That's one strong aspect us only children have, is that being alone doesn't really bother us that much. And quite honestly, after you have a family with 2 kids, every second that you get completely alone by yourself with peace and quiet, or just doing something as simple as looking at your cell phone and listening to music, is heaven. Like, it's so great to get a break, to be completely by myself and not be bothered by anyone. But anyway, so many different aspects I could go on about why I love living in Japan, staying in Japan. I've done like out of 600 videos, like maybe 1 or 2 videos that are like a little bit about negative experiences in Japan. Of course I have the whole Dark Side of Japan series, but that's more social commentary. That's not things that actually affect me every day. You know, obviously suicide and hikikomori are not things that constantly affect my life, but that doesn't mean I should ignore those social issues in Japan. So I just want people to realize when I make these videos also is that almost 100% of the time my videos are really positive about Japan. And recently I made that one, it was a response to Ryan Boundless's video, and it was just talking about just a couple negative experiences I've had in the past and how I dealt with them and what my philosophy was on how you should deal with negative experiences in any country or any lifestyle that you live. And I got some like lashback on that. People are like, why don't you just fucking leave Japan, or this person did this because of this situation and you're not right to have done that. You know what? Fuck off. Almost all my videos are positive. I love living in this country. Everybody knows that who watches my videos. Almost all my videos are upbeat and positive about Japan. I love living here. Yeah, it's got problems. Every fucking country has problems. Let's be honest. If any country was perfect, we'd all try to follow their example, but there is no perfect country or government or people. So stupid to try and assume such obvious points of conversation. But anyway, that's it for this video. Why I love, live, and will probably stay in Japan forever. I'm Unrested, signing out. Guys, have a good one. If you like what you saw here today, like, comment, and subscribe.